everybody, it's your favorite Kentuckian, CoolPika here, and back for more Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. In the last part, we got ourselves Dependent of Power, and honestly, that's pretty much it. Aside from a few other secrets that I could get now that I had the Pegasus boots and the power gloves. But really, there really wasn't anything else I wanted to do from there, so it was actually a pretty short episode, all things around. And in this part, since there's really nothing else to do here, we're actually going to go up to Death Mountain, since that is really the only thing that's really our next destination here. Because the last pendant is up there after all. The Pendant of Wisdom, and yeah, not the Pendant of Power for some reason. But because, the blue one was the, Pendant of Power for some reason. I do not know why myself. But, anyways, since I've last recorded, I think a lot has happened since I've last recorded. So, you're probably not going to notice it when these videos come out, because I've actually been recording these in stacks before they've like come out to the public. So for context, for how I've been recording these episodes, there's actually been a bit of a time gap from when I recorded this episode and the last episode, because if I'm not mistaken, the last episode I recorded was back in February. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. It might have been February. It probably was February that I last recorded it, but yeah. So basically, it's actually been a while since I've last recorded. And in case you don't know, a lot has happened in that time frame. So around that time frame, the Nintendo Direct happened, and a lot has happened since then. For one, I have found out that the first off, while we're here, there's this old man here that we need to guide. I don't know who you are, but if you're going to go up to the mountain, will you take me with you? I lost my lamp, so... Yep, old man's getting lost in caves, losing their lamps. Best of luck. So yeah, anyways, I was saying, rest your step. There are holes in the ground. Could you turn right here? Young man, are you also going to the mountain to look for the golden power? Just ahead is a mountain full of monsters. Many people have vanished in this mountain while looking for the golden power. I don't want to steer you wrong, so please don't get too involved in such a mad quest. Okay, yeah, anyways, as I was saying, so a lot has happened since the last direct. So a lot has happened since when I last recorded. So between the gap from when I last recorded to when I was recording now, they have announced, that the GBA version of A Link to the Past was going to be on the NSO, which is kind of a game changer for me, because at first I didn't have a means to record GBA bonus videos. I know that I've wanted to do it, but I didn't exactly have a means of recording them, and I don't really know much about recording with OBS yet. At least for recording with games, aside from the few times I actually did record. But now that I've since I actually have the expansion pass for the NSO, this is a game changer for me, because now I can actually record the bonus content for the GBA game. So they are coming. So honestly, they are coming. And aside from that, I actually have another announcement, believe it or not. The Fourth Sword side game that was in there, I'm covering that too. Which I initially did not have any plans for it, because I did not have a means of recording it, but now I do. Now I do. So that means I am actually going to be covering that too on top of this Let's Play, which is kind of a unsuspected development. I'm going to be honest with you, I have not planned this whatsoever. Honestly, I'm kind of just winging it at this rate. Well, I mean, but then again, when is anything I've done in my Let's Plays where I've just been not winging it? Name one Let's Play where I've not been winging it up to this point, because I'm telling you, I don't plan this stuff. I've just been winging it and going along with it. So, anything I do is pretty much improvised. I have no set plans. I just wing it and see how things turn out. And if I get good content out of it, then, oh well, good for me, I guess. Well, anyways, that's enough rambling there. Turn right here. You know, I have a granddaughter who is your age. The king took her to the castle and she never returned. Connected those maidens must be part of the wizard's plot. I'm sure he's trying to somehow use the power of the descendants of the wise men. Or are they the seven sages? I don't really know. Okay, yeah, so I guess there's a bit of a lore tip here, like, apparently one of the descendants of the seven sages is actually this old man's granddaughter, which is actually an interesting detail right here. Bit of a lore pit people probably tend to forget, but that's actually pretty cool. So, actually, this is actually a pretty short tunnel path. Yeah, okay, anyways, here we are in Death Mountain. A lot different from how it looks now. I think this is actually the first iteration of Death Mountain. And oh my god, it is raining cabbages! I'm pretty sure those are just volcanic meteor rocks, but again, in this rendition of the game, they just look like cabbages. The missing maidens are still alive somewhere. I believe that a hero rescued them. I wait for that day. These are dangerous times. I talk too much. Anyway, thank you for your kindness to an old man like me. I wanted to give you this. If you wander into a magic transporter, gaze into this mirror. Okay, and just from helping the old man, and we get the magic mirror. The mirror is blue, clear, and beautiful, and this is gonna help, and you feel like it's going to get absorbed into another world. Right now, this item feels like it... Are you kidding me? I died the moment the cutscene was over! Okay, that was rude. I got killed by a cabbage. Rude. Anyways, if you come in here, this is actually the old man's abode in Death Mountain. Not a bad place. He's got some little table, no beds. Not much, but must be nice residing in the cave. The wizard's deceived the king and is now trying to open the way to the dark world. To complete your quest, you will need the Moon Pearl, which is in the tower at the top of the mountain. All I can do now for you now is to comfort your weariness. Come back here anytime. So, from the moment you come up to Death Mountain and help the old man out, this is the moment where you get a new spawn point whenever you next load your game. Because, for a while, you can only spawn in your house in the sanctuary, but now, you can now spawn up here in Death Mountain, the old man's little cave. Which is actually pretty nice. Although, in the GBA version, that's not really much of the case, since, in the GBA version, you just get the save from your start point, with where your last... You can start from where you last saved, which, honestly, when you have that feature, you really don't need any other spawn points, now do you? You're pretty much just going to be relying on that one, since that makes the most sense. Unless you need to do, like, a quick shortcut somewhere to get somewhere, then I can understand that. Besides that, if you go in this cave here, there really isn't much to this cave. Just a dark cave, or a different path you can take. I guess especially if you want to avoid those cabbages. The raiding cabbages of death, as you can see. They don't really have much enemies in here, outside from these bats, or the keys that we typically call them. Yeah, but like that, you come up here in the second round. And these enemies here, you can't really kill these guys, but every time you flash your sword, they seem to harden up. I don't really know what the name of these monsters are, but because I don't know. Either that or they must be like the prototype for Gorons at the time. I don't know, but yeah, these are the new enemies to like the Death Mountain. And if you ever want to exit, so if you ever want to leave Death Mountain, you cannot go back the way you came. If you want to go back, that is the way you have to, like, go. So that cave's going to be there, which we'll probably use later. But for now, we're here to explore Death Mountain. And once you reach up to the top here, you can see how high up you are by seeing all the trees down below. It's got a lot of pretty crystals down here. But the moment you reach the top, you have a bunch of caves you can actually go down to. So actually, I actually want to go down here first, because there's a bunch of caves to explore here in Death Mountain. Okay, this is like the first step. Okay. I'm doing pretty. Okay, no. I'm kind of doing that as a thing. I I'm kind of doing that out of forced habit. I need to stop doing that. Okay, that was rough. Yeah, that was rough. I already had rope fairies here before going on the get-go, so I'm okay. Okay, yeah, so there's a bunch of caves here that you can explore, so I think first off in Death Mountain, it's like, you would definitely want to check out these caves out here, because there's definitely some stuff here that is worth checking out. Well, since going up here, I already went through 2 of my fairies, one to a cabbage and a caterpillar, of all things. So, it's a good thing I came here anyways, because that basically means I can just restock anytime. If you need fairies, this is the place you would go to get them. So that's really nice. Okay, while we're up here, I also want to make a note of another thing. If you've noticed, I have, before recording, I went and increased the numbers of bombs and arrows I can increase. They are now up to 40. I did that all off screen, so this is just going to be a note. Anytime I do upgrades to my bows and my arrows and bombs and increase their capacity, I'm going to be doing that off screen every time I get ruby stocked up. For the time being, I'm leaving it at 40 for now, since I pretty much think that don't need much for a while. I won't upgrade until necessary, because I'm kind of gonna be stingy here and like hold on to much of my rubies as possible, because there's gonna be some stuff coming up where I'm just gonna need a lot of rubies. Now come up here. This cave is really important, because if you come up here, we get our first piece of heart up in Death Mountain. A nice warm welcome. And also, we got this little panel here. Jordan, it is I, Sahasharala. I cannot still pronounce your name. You must somehow make your way to the top of the spectacle of rock. From there, you can reach the Tower of Hair on the top of Death Mountain. So, off the bat, the Tower of Hair is going to be our goal. And if you remember what the old man was saying, he is saying that we got to get the Moon Pearl, which is like a very important objective. So you better want to make notes of this, because that is gonna be one of our goals once we enter the Tower of Hair, because the Moon Pearl is said is gonna be helping us at our quest, and it is something that we are going to need down the line. What purpose is it for? Well, you'll know in due time, I guess. Aside from that, I think that's like mostly everything. Yeah, these 2 caves are like mostly the most worth noting. I don't think there's anything else here, but now that we're up here, I think there's only one thing we do. There's this strange blue portal right here. And off the bat, if you try and step in it, I'm not sure what happened, but it appears now we are not in Hyrule anymore. You're not sure where you're at, but there's some crazy LED lights going on here, which means there's some pretty crazy club going on in the background, and apparently I didn't get invited. And for some reason, we're a bunny now. Yeah, this place definitely feels like an acid trip. And what's this? Is this a rock with maple syrup coming out of it? Honestly, that's kind of what I thought of it as as a kid. Like, I just think it's like maple syrup for some reason coming out of a rock, like chocolate. I don't know, or like just chocolate spewing out of this rock. But although honestly, this is probably just like magma or something. Looking it back on it now, but it's a crazy little thing I can see here. If you move a certain direction, for some reason it animates faster. I don't know why that is, but it's a little detail that I've noticed every time I see that rock. So yeah, if you check I'm gonna only open the map briefly just to show you where we're at, but look at this place. The map, if you can see here, this place feels different entirely. I'm only gonna I'm gonna give you like a fast glimpse of the map, but yeah, it's like we are in a different place entirely. Who knows where? But I think but there are locals here, so I guess the really only thing we can do is talk to the guys here and figure out what happened. What do you want? You have something to say to me, silly rabbit? Tricks of our kids! I came here to get the power of gold, but now I'm free! And I can't go back to the real... And I can't go back to the real world! If only I had the moon pearl from the Tower of Hera, I could go back to my original shape. I've got good reason to be stressed off, so back off! Shoo! Shoo! Okay, I guess that explains why that blob right there is getting harassed, because this guy seems to be in a bad mood, but from what it looks like, this seems to be where all the we don't know exactly where we are at the moment, but this seems to be the place where people have been disappearing to in search of the Golden Power, or the Triforce in this case. Oh, who are you, Mr. Bunny? This world is like the real world, but evil has twisted it. The Golden Power is what changed your step. The Golden Power is what changed your shape to reflect what is in your heart and mind. I am always changing my mind, so I turn into a ball. But if you have a ball called the Moon Pearl, you can keep your original shape here. So this is why the Moon Pearl is important, because apparently when you get transported into this world, you lose your original shape. You basically transform in, I guess, whatever reflects your mind, according to this guy. I don't know why Link is a bunny in this case, but I don't know what the intention of making Link a bunny, or why it reflects his spot, or why the bunny's the first thing that comes to his mind, because I can see, like, this guy here, obviously this guy's some kind of punk, so he's come off of some kind of gremlin monster, and because this guy can't make up what he is, he ends up as a ball. Yeah, this guy's have it rough. But, aside from that, if you want to explore around, there really isn't much to see here, because, there really isn't much to see here. There's no monsters whatsoever, so really, it's really just a bit relaxing, if anything. You don't have to worry about anything here. You're kind of just trapped here. You can't really explore this world. There really isn't much to see here, at least at this point in time, anyway. But this just shows you where everyone has ended up in this world, and what our end goal is here. But aside, the only thing that's worth noting here is this great fairy, I guess, where you can heal your wounds in case you've taken any injuries, but that's about it. But anyways, yeah, we're stuck. But anyways, now that we've gotten all this out of the way, I think it's time to just stop roaming around being a cute, fluffy bunny and get out of here, because believe it or not, it may look like we're trapped in this, we may have been transported in the world, but that doesn't mean we're trapped here, because thanks to the gift that the old man gave us, we have a means out of here, which is gonna be means this is gonna be a premise going forward. So, what you want to do here is get up to this little corner right here, get the magic mirror out, and, oh, no, that's the map, and transport back to the real world. So, the reason why we get up to this corner, because we go up to this cliff and get ourselves a piece of heart, which is actually something we needed to do in order to, get up top of this cliff, because there was no other way you could do it. So now we're actually going to get into the core of the gameplay of A Link to the Past here, which is, transporting between the other worlds. I want to turn attention to this real quick, because, there's a statue here, which, obviously you need the Book of Mordora to, like, read this. Hold up the Master Sword and you'll get the Magic of Ether. Obviously we don't have the Master Sword, but when we do get it, we definitely want to come back here, so keep this in mind. So with that being said, there really isn't anything else to do here, but we just made it to Death Mountain. But all in all, we've made it to Death Mountain, so I think this is like a good place to wrap it up for the time being. So next time on Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, we are going to go up to the top of Death Mountain.